Hey, Internet! On today's show, we have some bad news for dinosaurs. We get armed with umbrellas just in case, a genital drawing simulator with guns, and a shmup RPG the tech has been hoping for years. Grab your flashlights and slingshots. It's episode 18 of the Indie Game Riot.
Indie Game Riot! Hey everybody, this is JaShinYa, and yes, this is episode 18 of the Indie Game Riot Podcast. And I do have to say, first of all, we have bad news for dinosaurs, Rev. I'm pretty sure dinosaurs have already known for a long time that bad news has come, or it already came for them.
No.
In the form of volcanic ash.
And an asteroid.
Well, no, I refuse to cede to your version of reality.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were in Vicodin land.
No, we're in Whiskey Land, but also like dinosaurs are cool, and there's not enough good games with dinosaurs in them.
Yeah, the last one I played.
Intent.
The last one I played that was good, that was decent with dinosaurs was probably Turok on the N64.
That was a decent version, yeah.
Well, anyway, how are things going for you guys?
Well, I think Rev went first last time, so I'll go. This might make Josh a little bit jealous, but the other day I got home from class. This was on Thursday actually. I got home from class. A friend of mine rung me up on Skype. It's like, hey, let's go play some Heroes and Generals, because that's a game that I've gotten into and I'm actually liking a lot. And then he, throws in Josh, who's another friend of ours, and then Josh throws in someone from his gaming unit. They play like Arma 3 and all that, and he throws him in, and we're playing, and then his friend goes, hey, you sound like, to me, he's like, you sound really familiar. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just have one of those like familiar voices, like, I've been in your guys' TeamSpeak every once in a while. He was like, no, I think it's from something else. And then about 3 minutes goes by, and then he goes, wait, do you have a YouTube channel? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, do you play No Moria? And I'm like, yes, I do play No Moria. And he's like, I subscribed to you about 5 months ago, and now I'm talking to you on Skype. This is crazy.
Oh.
And so like, someone randomly found my videos, was also friends with a friend of mine, and was then talking, like, that's the first fan I ever found.
That feels good, I bet.
It actually felt really weird, because like I was playing the game and then talking about like computer stuff, and then he's like, oh yeah, and then a game that I played, I'm like, oh yeah, that game, that was fun. It sucks that I had to emulate it, but I didn't tell him about Indie Game Riot. I was like, shit, I should have told him about Indie Game Riot.
Well, that's where I thought you were going with it. I was like,
it was my YouTube channel.
Oh,
but,
well, yeah, that's still cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it was.
Now he's gonna stalk you. That's the best part.
No, dude.
Oh.
We gain a very, very dedicated listener to Indie Game Riot.
He says as he's tied to the chair with his knees broken.
Yeah.
I love that movie, Misery. Well, how about you, Rev? Get to Revin.
Not much has been going on. I recorded a couple of really cool videos that our audience aren't going to see until later on, but had a lot of fun with that, planning out a couple of other videos that we might record. And I told everybody before we went live with the stream, with the recording, so Josh and Techno, but I like my whiskeys and my scotches and my whiskeys, because those are two different things. One of them's EY and one of them's just Y. So two different types of distillation, but they don't, like, my house does not have any whiskey that I can drink that is in it. So, like, I've got 6 bottles of whiskey sitting in my freezer. Unfortunately, it's all Fireball whiskey, which is cinnamon.
Man, that burns really
kill
bad,
me.
though. I've had I don't know if it was Fireball, but it was something. Fire water. That's what it was.
That's a cinnamon liqueur, not a.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Get your alcohols right. So, like, I have all of this whiskey in my freezer that I can't drink, and I was like, I haven't done a show while intoxicated in a little while, building towards intoxication. But so I'm like frantically digging around in our pantry looking for something that I can drink, and I've got like a plastic bottle full of crack and spiced rum. And then I look over, and one of my former coworkers made a trip to Scotland for a wedding, and
I thought he went to Scotland to get some booze. He went on a beer run.
sent him on a run.
That's usually what happens. Like my mom went to Northern Ireland on vacation, and the first thing, she told me, she's like, "So your grandfather called me today." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what did he want?" So he heard that that I was going to Ireland, and he wired me some money and told me to get him some whiskey.
That's awesome.
That was the entire conversation. It's, you're in Ireland, buy me whiskey in Ireland.
But so anyways, my coworker gets back from Scotland. He gives everybody else. He got him little like $5 thing, like, oh hey, here's a Celtic knot, whatever. And my return gift from him was I got 4 of those little sample bottles of various whiskeys. So I'm about halfway through the Dwar's White Label, and after that, I think I'm going to hit the Dwar's Blue Label 12 year. And then I have some Cutty Sark blended Scotch, and then I have Aberfeldy. That's
Scotch?
A 12 as well.
Scotch is an I've had that once in my life. It's really smooth, though. I should have it more often.
Scotches are a lot of fun. You have to enjoy the aromatic taste to it.
I was half expecting you to just be like, I can't find anything, and then just grab some mouthwash, rubbing alcohol.
There was a friend of mine and I like brewing beer together, because brewing beer alone is kind of sad. And we have, I don't know if I've told about this.
That's what separates the hillbillies from the microbreweries.
The connoisseurs.
Yeah, we decided that eventually we will have an IPA, because he doesn't really like IPAs. I love IPAs, but this is the ad that we wrote. Tired of drinking mouthwash for that special feeling on a Monday night under your box? Wash those cares away with Almost Solvent IPA, where the first one sucks, but you won't feel the next 3.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, how about God? I was going to say, how about you, Josh? But then I got distracted by the IPA. I can't drink IPAs. It tastes like I'm swallowing a mouthful of pine needles.
Try.
No.
Okay.
No.
I stick with lagers.
I have had so many people that are like, no, you've got to try. Like, I have probably had over 250 different IPAs, and it's literally like I'm downing a mouthful of pine needles and dish soap.
The Pine Sol lady just running her own microbrewery. So
how about you, Josh? What are you up to?
I'm reading the chat. It just makes me laugh. I like it when people pull quotes out. I did it because I don't really process them until I read them later.
Yeah.
But just me. I don't know. I've had such a lack of sleep lately. I'm so like I don't even know what planet I'm on.
Earth, definitely.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, even on my days off, because I mean, I had today off of work, and so everyone knows, just so you can all like, I don't know, throw rocks at me or something. I took a nap, and I overslept, so that's part of the reason we're starting late. But in my defense, I have babies, 2. Well, one's a toddler, and it's hot as shit. And I even on my days off, there's always something. It's like a doctor's appointment. Today I had to go to a funeral. It was like, I don't know. I don't know what sleep is anymore, guys. I don't know.
Well, while you're all sleep-deprived, can I recommend that you watch a movie called Requiem for a Dream?
No, that's so what? No, I've watched it once in my life.
It's really good when you're all sleep-deprived.
No, it is not. That makes...
It's an amazing movie anyways, but it's
It
really...
is. It is a good movie, but that if I want to, like, you know, hate my life for the next, you know, day, that movie is so depressing.
Well, Josh, you know that I think they make like pills for waking up and stuff.
You mean
Coffee.
like caffeine pills?
Yeah, sure.
No dose.
Uppers.
You could probably get them in like injection form.
I knew you were going with it. Actually, I thought you were going to go with Requiem for a Dream since they drugs and everything, but you know. Indie News Ejection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an Indie News Injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
And this week on Indie News Injection, the first thing we have to talk about is an unfortunate news article that we found.
The dinosaurs are dead!
The dinosaurs are dead, if you didn't know. But basically, I forget what episode it was. Was it like 4? 4? It was either 4 or 10, because I remember Wizfish was on with us. And, but basically, we talked about the game, The Stomping Lands. And the game, just so you know, give a little bit of backstory, it was on Kickstarter, raised $110,000. Everything was going well, and apparently the creator, Alex Fundora, I guess you call him?
Alex.
Is that his for real last name, Fundora? That sounds like a username. But anyway, it seems like, for all intents and purposes, that he's abandoned the game. It was quietly pulled from Steam Early Access. No updates have been given. There's been no back and forth between the company and fans and everything like that. Supercrit is his company, by the way. Supercrit, I should mention that. And the last thing that you really heard about, they were planning on moving the game to Unreal Engine 4, to advance it further, because Unreal is a pretty good engine. But nothing has happened, and then now all of a sudden it's gone off of Steam.
And their website's basically down.
Yeah, that too.
There was a little bit of other stuff, like Alex had been making comments on Twitter and stuff like that he had some real life stuff that was kicking his ass, and then he made the decision to move to Unreal 4. And in general, I'd be okay with this, but the game was already amazing. They had no need to do that, and like we've seen it even in the AAA scene that, you know, when you suddenly decide, you know, that close to release, oh yeah, we're just going to redo the entire game in a different engine. It's kind of like driving the nail in the coffin, regardless of any other issue that was facing it. Like what was Duke Nukem Forever?
That took how many years?
Like 18 years.
Yeah,
no, 12
ridiculous.
years.
Yeah, I think it was 12.
But they, you know, the part of why is because they would be working on it, and then a new engine would come out, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's amazing," and so they would work on that engine, and like it was one of those things where it just everything all built up. I feel bad because we promoted this game, and it's still an amazing game, and we can't get it anymore.
Yeah, well, and if you did buy it, just so you know, you are still going to be able to play it on Steam. It's still there. It's just that if you didn't buy it, then you're SOL.
It's not going to get any more updates.
Yeah. So, I mean...
That we know of. And
that we know of. And with this news, though, I can't imagine that the servers are going to be full. And we're kind of swallowing our pride a bit, because we had a pretty good run since the beginning of promoting games that we were pretty sure that we're gonna stick around. We thought this was going to be one of them, and unfortunately not. And I think that's a big problem with these kind of big open world multiplayer games too, with how much that goes into it.
Yeah.
So it's risky in the first place. So I kind of feel the need to apologize just for us. It's not really apologize, because I mean we legitimately thought it was a good game, and it is a good game,
and it had a lot of really good press. I mean, like if you search YouTube for friggin' the stomping grounds, like you will find videos from very prolific YouTubers. Like I know Vintage Beef did one. Off the top of my head, there are like a lot of there's a lot of like big high,
it's kind of like you had this good run going and then it's like so
but at the same time
it's like accidents in a workplace, you know what I mean? We're like, it's been how many weeks? Yeah.
Well, at the same time, though, we did feature it in our Peep Show segment, which, for those that follow us, it does run the risk. These are games that are up and coming that aren't at a full release yet that we think are awesome and exciting, and we can't wait for them ourselves. And so it's just like anything else out there that, investment or playing the stock market or whatever, there's a chance that you're going to get hosed by it. And if you already bought, like Josh said, if you already bought it, you're still going to be able to play it. It's just I won't be able to play it, and that makes me sad.
Yeah. Do you guys remember how much it was selling? Was it $20?
I think it was like 18 or 19.
Yeah, so it was around $20. I also think that again, this is speculation. Basically, everything about this game currently, because there's been no news on it and the website's down, it's all sort of speculation. But you sort of have to think about these games that are especially pushed by the community and the community has a lot of input. When having a lot of good ideas, like implementing a better engine or add this, add that, all of a sudden puts a game into development hell.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. And then all of your investors are like, we're going to sue you because you're not holding up your end of the bargain. And then you miss dates because you have family issues. And then all of a sudden, everything's going down. Try to figure out what you can salvage from this, pull it off of Steam.
And I'm from the sounds of it, I would assume. I mean, I might be wrong, but I would assume it's something to do with something that's kind of depressing him a bit. I don't know if he has depression, but he may be depressing him currently, whatever is going on. And it's like, I want to be sympathetic, and I am sympathetic towards that. But at the same time, I feel like if you dump that amount of money from your fans, mind you, you kind of have an obligation, and it's hard for me. It's hard for me to forgive it.
I think that, though, like, if that were the problem, at least, hindsight 2020, and, if I was a developer, but, like, if I was doing that, I would probably try my hardest to find somebody else to work on it. Like, be like, hey, buy this project from me. Like, this is going here are the stats, like, just take it from me, do it. I can't handle this now.
And if it's not a money issue, then what you could do is maybe hire someone to just take over for however long you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Hire a developer.
Well, that is a possibility. Something that I caught as I was researching for this story, because I was really looking forward to this game. I really was, and something that kind of came up was the PR manager for Supercrit was apparently a freelancer, and his contract expired May 31st, which is about the time period that we stopped getting updates to the game. And that's also about the same time that the developer, when Alex was saying he had some personal stuff going on. So, I mean, I'm not upset. Like, okay, I'm frustrated that the game's no longer available to me, but I don't see it as being a bad thing. I'm not getting one of those creepy vibes off of the, Earth 2066.
Yeah, it's just completely scammy and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting that feeling off of this. Based on Alex's comments beforehand and in the build-up to the lack of development, I'm getting much more of there's something going on in his non-developer life that's kind of taken priority, whatever that is. I don't know, I don't care, I don't want to speculate, but I hope everything is going well and that this is just a hiccup at the moment.
Yeah. Well, and he did say in an August interview that it was still in development despite lack of communication and all
updates.
That. Yeah.
That could have just been him too, like saying, yeah, it's still in development.
Yeah.
When he wasn't really quite sure, but he wanted to make put up a front. But I mean, let me say that I think, speaking for all of us in the Game Riot, Alex, if you happen to just be listening, we hope that everything is starting to go better for you, or will eventually soon. And I hope you haven't given up on the Stomping Land. And but I think now's a good time as any to move on to from a game that is ending and potentially stopping. Switch that. Stopping, potentially ending, and to a game company who is maybe coming out with their fourth game.
Yeah, it's called Game 4. Game 4.
Game 4.
Actually, it's not. It hasn't been named yet, but they're calling it Game 4. There was this group of people. They did a little thing called Castle Crashers, and there was a game we talked about not too long ago called what was it, Battle Block Theater, and they've apparently got another game there called Game 4 at the moment that is not a sequel. It's kind of the same. They went with very similar art style, very similar time frame.
The art style, I think, in all their games is one. It's kind of their signature, and also the co-founder of the Behemoth. One being Tom Falp, who does a lot. He's a fantastic programmer. The other guy, Dan Paladin, who this is the art style that you're seeing is his art style.
There was enough of a distinction between Battle Block and Castle Crashers that if it hadn't been made clear to me that it was the same developers, I would not have made that assumption.
Really?
They're.
It's very similar.
I think that Josh and I's background in it, and
True,
knowing,
I think maybe
knowing the art style probably gave us a little bit more of a heads up on that.
Yeah, and Patoria in our live audience mentioned a sort of Newgroundsy, sort of cartoony aesthetic. Well, that's because Tom Falp is, and Dan Paladin, as a matter of fact, Tom Falp is the founder of Newgrounds. Dan Paladin, they've known each other through Newgrounds because Dan Paladin was one of the original big names on Newgrounds as far as cartoons go. He made, if you recognize the game, or the game Dad and Me. Dad and Me. That's Dan Paladin's, and again, similar art style, the boxy heads and the blank, special looking faces.
Lots of white.
Yeah, lots of white, and I think it plays into their humor that they add into the whole charm of the Behemoth in their games.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
So, going on with Game 4, we don't know a whole lot about it. It's a hex based. It was viewable at PAX, so Victoria might have seen it, but and if so, that's yet another reason why I still like you but want you to die. But it's kind of an RPG, an RPG type deal, and it basically. The story that we know so far is that a space bear has crashed onto your planet, and nothing has been the same since. So it really don't have a whole lot of news on it, but it is on a hex grid. It's definitely in that Newgroundsian art style, and it also has a bit of a I want to say Catan or Risk feel to it.
I was going to say it looks tactical to me. It's kind of like the hex also reminds me of Civilization.
Yeah, very much.
And and it's very tactical looking, and it that's what really makes me excited about this, because first of all, they have 3, not including their mobile games, but they have 3 console titles: Alien Hominid, Castle Crashers, and Battle Block Theater, and all of them have been side-scrolling. 2 of them one was a side-scrolling.
Wait,
what do you
they
call
did
it?
Alien Hominid too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jesus, where the hell have I been? Okay,
Alien Hominid. Alien Hominid was actually originally on Newgrounds, and Tom Falp. That was Tom Falp's thing, and then he ended up putting it on on Game Boy, and then it was on Xbox Live and all that sort of stuff. But anyway,
a long time ago.
If you know, this is a very different kind of game that they're getting into, because everything else has been 2D side scrolling with Alien Hominid was like an action adventure. Castle Crashers was a beat 'em up. Man, I'm going through puberty again apparently. And then Battle Block Theater is a platformer, I guess, for all.
It's a racing platformer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's nice to see this, and I'm really excited about this because I love strategy games. Love them. Strategy RPG. That's what it looks like.
Strategy RPG. Not only do you have the hex map for battles, but you also you can go around the world map looking for quests as well in real time. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a turn-based type deal.
Real-time strategy RPG.
Okay, so are the battles real-time on the hex?
Not sure, but I think it's not real time on the hex. I think it's a turn base.
Okay. Because do you want me to
go for it
here? I don't care.
Wow.
I mean, I know that sounds really bad. I'm gonna try to be a cynical asshole here, but it's I personally, I really like real time strategy, and then as soon as you give me a hex and turns, I just my brain sort of turns off, my eyes roll into the back of my head, and my spine rolls out from under me.
So everyone listening right now, Tekido's Twitter is Tekido _. Go ahead, feel free to blow up his Twitter.
I'm not saying that it looks bad. I think that the fact that it is a hex-based game that you don't see you don't see that a lot anymore. The strategy from what they've come out is going to be actually very important.
Well, let me ask you, Tech. Did you like, or have you played, and did you like games like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem or anything like that?
No, I wasn't really crazy about them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a me thing. It's not a game thing.
It's not you. It's me. I'm sorry.
But with the humor and the art style and the variation of everything, and the fact that when you guys were talking about once I learned that there was more of an open world where you can go around looking for quests, that part then was sort of so maybe this will be a Dungeons and Dragons Heroes on the Xbox sort of adventure where you have multiple things you have to go to, but I'm not an SRPG kind of guy.
And
so hold your fire on that one for now, because I don't have confirmation on that. In all of the articles,
again, it's very up in the air. I could actually end up playing this and being it has changed my mind.
Just kidding. I found another sentence. It's a turn-based strategy role-playing game with the style.
I found another sentence in this article.
I like RPGs. I don't like turn-based. And
it's turn-based.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Right.
I will say that I enjoy Final Fantasy games, not Final Fantasy Tactics, but I enjoyed. I mean, even still, turn-based doesn't get me super. Yeah, but that's just me. It looks really cool. That's why we're talking about it. Just.
So they haven't. They don't have a development time cycle yet. They aren't committing to a release date, other than to say it's definitely not coming out this year. But they are going to be releasing it on the Xbone and on Steam, and they have said it shouldn't be as long of a wait as their previous games have been.
And as I'm reading this article, I see in the sidebar another article that was born from, or another game that was born from Newgrounds that's getting a sequel.
Oh.
Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Won't go into it, but that's just an FYI for you all. If you like Binding of Isaac, that is coming out in November.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
And going from new things from a company to new things from a company.
Yeah.
Damn.
Minecraft. Everyone plays Minecraft. Minecraft, one of the best-selling games of all time.
Fuck that game.
Wow.
It just got an update, the 1.8 update, which is weird because I swear that they've already had a Minecraft 1.8 update because I've been playing this damn thing for
it took a while for 1.8 to come out.
It did. It took a very long time.
1.0 only came out 9 months ago, so I don't know what you're griping about.
But see, before 1.0, there was 1.8 beta, and then there was 1.8 alpha, and it's numbers
alpha comes before beta. Their tech.
Well, no, I know, but so anyway, it is called the Bountiful update, and basically, if if you've been living under a rock in terms of Minecraft, if you have any servers, update them, throw every single second of work that you have on these huge servers, because you're going to want to generate new terrain to get new rock types, 3 new rock types, new doors, bunnies, a bunch of other stuff.
Couple of new mobs. And just so you know, those rocks, at least at this point, are pretty useless. They're more for aesthetic purposes.
Yeah, it's andesite, diorite, and granite. Andesite and diorite are more of like a gray tone, and then granite, it's a sort of a love it or hate it sort of orange baked bean sort of color. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it adds...
you can polish it. And then,
you can, yes, and you can get polished, but I think the textures need to be updated. That's one thing that everyone's been asking for. And, they update textures every now and then. If you look back at... alpha versions of Minecraft, but you also have banners, different colored doors depending on the type of wood that you use. You have different color fences, like Josh said, new mobs.
The mobs. Well, let's just list the mobs real quick. Endermites.
Yep, which happen every single time. Or there's a percentage chance that they spawn if an Enderman teleports, and there's a percentage chance they spawn if you throw an Ender Pearl and teleport.
Guardians.
Guardians spawn inside water temples that only show up sometimes.
Those are actually pretty scary. I've seen.
Oh my! I actually have a Minecraft server for a few friends of mine, and
we're not even invited. I see.
we tried to attack a water temple, and I mean I was doing okay because I sort of knew what was going on, but they heard it and like, ooh, water temple, and then like they didn't know what the Guardians did. The Guardians shoot like this laser thing, and they didn't know that there was going to be this huge thing scaring them in the whole thing. And we all had depth strider boots and respiration helmets and water breathing potions, but they were just like dying all over the place. And I'm like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
And then Elder Guardians.
Oh yeah, those are the
you mentioned
bosses.
them actually.
Yeah,
the guys
so
shooting lasers.
the bosses in the water temples. And they also implemented sponges in survival. So now, without going through creative, you can actually access sponges from the water temples. There are also new block types from the water temples that are. You can get lamps, and then 2 other sort of corally blue blocks that they have there that you can make out of the remnants of Guardians, among other many. Cool thing.
I too love to make lamps out of my fallen foes.
Yeah.
Bring me the skull of an enemy and a light bulb.
Yeah. Another thing that they added, though, which is sort of a more subtle, is they added more command block features. So if you don't know, Minecraft has command blocks that can only be accessed through the creative mode, but you can't even really access them through creative mode. You actually have to type in a code and spawn them in for yourself. But they added new features like at E, which targets entities. You can get block data and clone and fill and execute and particle and replace item and all this other stuff that command blocks couldn't do, but everybody wanted them to do. You can also use them to generate text in front of your face that actually like appears in front, not just in the chat, but appears in a specific font and sizes and whatnot in front of users. And so that's a lot of awesome features that are given to either creative types that make custom apps or people who are in charge of servers who want to do stuff. I used these new command block commands for a quest that I put somebody on my server on to go around, and if he could defeat the final boss of this quest, he got a really cool bow and a horse, like an undead horse that isn't technically in the game. But yeah,
there's also, by the way, just some interesting things too, is that they've added a lot more customizable things as far as your skin goes, slime box, and I don't know if this was this update or what, but Minecraft Realms talking about servers. Was that around already?
That was, but I think it already was around.
Okay,
I think it was. They added it sort of in a hot fix or something.
Yeah, I never noticed it, but now you can get your like an actual legit Minecraft server from Minecraft from Mojang for $13 a month,
which is a really good price.
You know why I don't give a shit about any of this though?
Why?
I played on Xbox Arcade, and we're not going to get an update. Like, we just had an update 6 months ago. So I'm not going to get an update for this for a long time.
That's why I don't play on console.
There's also something else that was really cool that I totally forgot. There was slime blocks. There was blocks. Nope, I can't seem to. It was a more subtle. Oh yeah. They also allowed. They now have a feature for multi-threading your processor, so that you can have faster running Minecraft. So if you have a core processor, which I think everybody does now, unless you're an enthusiast building a new Pentium 4. So they have that, and they also added a 32 chunk render distance. The original, I think it before this update, it was like 16, and so they doubled it to 32, and that's the farthest you've ever been able to see in Minecraft. I have a beefy computer, and it can't handle it. Huh. Like I have a relatively nice computer, and with multi-threading, putting more RAM onto it, overclock processor and all that, it still like chugs along. But being able to see super far just is so much fun. So it's also been better optimized. Oh, and armor stands. Just
I can attest to the optimization because I was playing that and it was running like butter.
Yeah,
on my computer, and I usually have, for some reason, because I have a laptop for this, and I was playing it, and usually my laptop like tends to, I don't know, it gets pretty choppy often, and since this update, I've been like, it's just been smooth sailing.
Yeah. So for more information, if you want to know more about Minecraft 1.8, there's going to be a link in the description. There's a lot that we didn't talk about, obviously, because it's a huge update. You know how Mojang is with updates. Rev, I'm sorry. I really am.
It makes me wonder though, because this is 1.8. There's only 0.2s, like 2 points left until they get to 2.0. And what is 2.0 going to be like?
I kind of hope they don't release a new one because I don't have to buy another one.
Well, I don't think it'll be new. I just think.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder. But anyway,
at this point, it is a whole new game that you should restart.
You know what's not a whole new game, but it's still good, and we're going to talk about it anyway?
What's that, Josh?
The thing that we're talking about on starting the riot.
All right, guys. This week on Starting the Riot, we have an oldie but a goodie, and that one is ROR, Risk of Rain. Hence the, I'm armed with an umbrella just in case. I can be funny. Shut up. And,
I actually just got that.
Wait, legitimately, or?
Yeah, no, like I heard it in the intro, and now I just connect.
Welcome to the Indie Game Riot, where
everybody's
the jokes we talk about 3 segments before are the ones we laugh at 3 segments later.
Where our brains are catching up with our mouths.
And how. So I said this is kind of an oldie. It's not super old like some of the games that we've featured before. This one is actually came out in 2013 and is available either through Steam or directly through the company. It was a absolutely awesome, fun little game. Now, here's. Mechanically, it has one of the coolest mechanics that I have ever encountered in all of my years of gaming. And that mechanic is the longer it takes your happy ass to get through this level, the harder it gets. So you can start out on very easy, and there's like 15 characters that you can choose from as you unlock them. I think I've got like 6 myself. And the engineer, by the way, is the shit. And so like you go through and there's like 5 or 6, maybe 7 levels, and then there's like the boss level. And don't ask me what the story is because I have no idea. I've run around in my pixelated form and I blow the hell out of monsters, and it's a lot of fun. But as you take time, like your goal is to find the teleporter to go to the next level, and then that one to the next, and then to the boss level. Cool. You gather up items which can stack, and they have things like enemies drop more gold and stuff like that, and that all transfers over to each individual level. And the difficulty just slowly and gradually increases. So if you're trying to farm out a whole bunch of gold so that you can unlock some chests so that you can get those items, if you take too long, you get screwed because all of a sudden you're on insane difficulty and you're only on the 2nd level, and you started out on very easy. Not that I have done that more than once. So Like it really is one of those. Graphically, it's not a whole lot to look at. It is kind of drab, I'll say. And that's not even just me with my own personal, being a monochromat saying it's drab. It's fairly drab. It's grays and dark blues and browns and like that. That's really about it.
And a little bit of purple.
Yeah. So and you're just running around, jumping from platform to platform. It's kind of like a puzzle. Not even really a puzzle. It's a shoot 'em up / platformer. And the list of items that they have in this game is ginormous. Like there's an entire wiki of just the items. There's some 100 or so items that they have, and each of them does something different. They all stack. You have usable ones like the golden key. If you can find that will save you so much money in the long run. And it unlocks all chests in the level, so you can just run over and grab the items without spending money. And no, it's tons of fun. I've probably dropped, I want to say, about 10 hours or so into this, playing through on the different classes. You start off with just the one, the commando. He can shoot things and he can roll and he can throw a grenade, and that's all he can do. And then you have
testosterone.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But and your powers are limited. You only have 4 combat options. Each character has 4 combat options. Most of them cannot move while firing, but some of them, their firing animation and whatnot, it alternates fast enough that you can almost move. The sniper is a lot of fun, but it's by far very, very difficult because you only get one shot and you have to reload in between each shot. So pull your trigger again to reload. And that one has a Gears of War feel to it. So if you time your reload, you do more damage the next time. So lots of variation. I've only beaten the game once, and I've come close 3 or 4 times. But by the time I usually get to the end boss, it's usually at the super hard or the insane difficulty.
Is it split up into levels, or is it a constant playthrough as far as you can get type of thing?
It's a constant playthrough that's split up into levels. So you start off, your space pod lands, crashes on this planet, and you find the teleporter. Go around, you got to kill things. When you find the teleporter, you have to survive for 90 seconds, and a boss gets summoned. So kill the boss, kill all the other enemies that are on the map, survive the 90 seconds, and then you can teleport out, which is cool at all. Everything that you've gathered up, all of your items, carry over to the next section of the game. Your gold, your money, gets altered into experience, and you can level up that way. And you go through each level, you find the teleporters, and then you hit the big boss, and the big boss is ridiculous. He's one of those Zelda bosses that has 9 stages.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Not really. That's slight hyperbole. He's only got 4. You fight him, and then and he's got 40,000 hit points, and then he alternates into these 2 robo snakes that shoot missiles and lasers at you, and they've got 50,000 HP, and you kill them combined. You kill them, and then it's him with 60,000 HP plus his demonic shadow. It's ridiculous. And it takes so damn long if you're not prepped.
This game also, what some people don't look at it as, but it's a great co-op game or a party game if you don't have friends. I remember there when this game came out, I had guys in my outfit just they played Risk of Rain for a week, and that's all they played. It's Risk of Rain? Yeah, Risk of Rain. Oh my god. Oh, there's a boss. Oh crap. Oh, it's on insane difficulty and we're dead. Restart. But
it's
the co-op mechanics are very good. If you have a friend who has this game, play with that friend. You will not be disappointed.
Indie Game Riot, play with friends.
Yeah. Really good slogan.
And just this game is not actually new, which is what I mentioned. I don't know. I forget if I mentioned that outside of the recording or not. But Yeah, it was. It's not new, but it still gets updates. They're actually the last thing they have a blog that they updated in July, at the end of July, fixing bugs, and I guess they're working on ports for
Mac and Linux.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, yep. And
Well, check it out.
PlayStation as well. PSN, it looks like.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and they added 2 new classes and 10 new items. Or they're going to.
Yep.
There you go.
It's gonna be fun.
Um,
Any questions on this one?
what does
really.
Risk of Rain have to do with the game?
Like I said, don't ask me about the story.
Who
I-
gives a
I-
shit?
Figure that one out yourself, guys.
Yeah, I don't understand the title to the game. Like
it's
the
artsy.
bits of the story that I do know is that your ship was damaged in transit and crashed, and that's was about as far as I know.
It's artsy, that's why.
But developed by Hopo Games or Hapu or Hopu.
Oh, poo!
Hopu Games. 2 students from the University of Washington, Paul Morris and Duncan Drummond. And Christodoulou does the music for it. And that is one thing that I did want to mention that I hadn't yet. Dear God in Heaven, the soundtrack is amazing.
Huh.
Yeah.
It really, like, I had to play it muted for the first like 4.5 hours that I was playing because we were watching television out in the living room, and
You turned it on, your mind was blown.
it really was like it changes the entire game. You have no idea.
Great graphics, phenomenal music, Risk of Rain.
Risk of
Well,
Rain, check it out, and it's like $15.
At the risk of stretching out this segment, I think we should do our due process and move on to Peep Show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
And this week on Peep Show, quit interrupting me, guys, because it's due process. Due process is the game, and for those of you who don't know what due process is, which is probably most of you because it's an early alpha, due process is not really pretty to look at. I gotta be honest. It's all cubicle, and the graphics are pretty shit. But, so people said that about Minecraft. What's cool about it, though, is the actual concept. Basically, it's a multiplayer central game, and there are 2 teams. And if you go onto their website, which link will be in the description, you'll see they splice together a video of the 2 teams planning out their attack. So one team has to attack and infiltrate a building and kill everyone. The other team has to defend that building. And the maps are different every time, I believe. I think. Maybe not. I don't know.
They will be, but at the moment, they only have a couple of
Right.
them.
Okay, so there you go. So, because it's early access, they only have a couple maps. But, basically, you go through a planning stage, so both teams get a chance to, like, huddle up. Like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You guys go here, and you can, like, they even have, like, a little thing where you can all see it and draw on the map. Arrows, circles, X's, so you can plan out whatever you're doing. Yeah, there you go. And, they spliced it together, and you can tell, like, they said this is actual gameplay footage of them planning out. And it was weird because when they spliced it together, they were literally, like, when the team was planning and the defending team was counter planning, and they were like, the attacking team was like, okay, you're going to breach this wall here, and then it would split to the other team's planning. You know, if they were smart, they'd breach this wall, but they might be expecting us to expect that. So, you know what I mean? So it was pretty cool to see that. This is one of those games that it's so early, and it's so. It was done. We mentioned it was done in a 7-day game jam, and so this is very like thrown together at the moment. But even for something that was just done in a game jam, and they decided to flesh it out, and for not much progress on it just yet, it's the gameplay is already really fun. just the fact that you can have fun screwing with the other team, and you feel like a badass planning out everything.
And there's a lot of functionality built in already. Like it's not just, oh yeah, you can blow up a door and assault through here. Like it not only are at least the levels currently like very much like cover based tactical shooter, but you also have different objectives like, oh, you need to cut the power, or you can blow walls instead of doors, and you can kick in doors if someone's trying to do a breach charge and you kill the demo man. And all these things are always very it's planned out, but it's not like it's definitely not slow. It's very much like seat of your pants, like get the guns, they're coming, nobody slow down. This is it's us or them.
It's if you remember back in the day, there was a really cool. Wow, I stood up and whiskey hit me hard. If you remember back in the day, there was this really cool game called Rainbow Six.
Yep,
very similar overtones to that.
I was gonna mention that actually. They said that Due Process is an alpha love letter to tactical shooters like SWAT and Rainbow Six. So if you're into those things, you might really enjoy this. And then basically what happens, you mentioned charges, you can use other tools too, like riot shields and night vision, and basically
smoke grenades.
Yeah, and after you plan and go in for the breach and everything like that, it's kind of like pumping up for a big game. Like, I don't know how many of you listening, I don't think Rev and Tech would know what I'm talking about, but I don't know how many of you listening have been a part of a sports team. But there's that moment right before a game when you're in the locker room and you're just kind of like getting like pumped up and ready to go like run out into the field and get this started. And
I got high school.
Oh, there, yeah. I kind of got that feeling from this game because like you're done planning and like everyone's like standing like where they need to be, like
countdown to game start.
Yeah, they're like taking deep breaths, like here we go. And that feeling, you're just getting pumped up like that is really cool to me that a game can do that to you. And then there was something else I was going to mention. Oh, and then it's like when it actually happens, it's so fast. And you're just like, blah, 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 things are exploding, it's like hectic and everyone's going crazy. And it ends, like, even though it ends so quickly, it was all worth it. Just like, I don't know. It's you know what I'm talking about.
To explain the genital drawing simulator joke, because somebody sent me a message and was like, you've said it a couple of times now, I don't get it. So in the map planning phase, they've got a couple of videos that they've posted of other people playing their game, and both teams, as Josh was saying, it's switching between both teams as they're drawing out their plans and arrows going here and whatnot. And blue team, somebody drew a oversized male genitalia, and then like a couple of minutes later it switches back over to the red team's perspective and there is female genitalia. And like so it's genitalia drawing simulator with guns.
There you go.
Anything wrong with that? Nope.
And the developer is Giant Enemy Crab, based in Seattle, Washington, and they're planning. It looks like they're planning on releasing it March 2015, but there's no price point yet. Basically, it says the planning interface is really easy. They got the tools, I mentioned that. It's very blocky, and there's a lot of placeholder art, they said, but if you can get past that, it's the gameplay in itself is just too fun.
Josh, I think you're giving it a little bit of a hard time. Like, yes, all the graphics kind of, aren't that great, but, I mean, it's got a very super hot sort of feel to it.
I was going to say.
Like, well, no, that's what I was thinking, too, and I'm not giving it a hard time. I'm just mentioning the fact.
Yep, you're right. It does not look great. But, I mean, the lighting engine looks good. The level design looks good.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, too. Like, you can, one of those things that when you're in your planning phase, you start off in a little weapons room, and, like, all the weapons are, like, lined up on the wall, like in a badass way, and just, you get to, like, do I want this gun? Put it back.
Think the scene from The Matrix.
Yeah. Or the scene from the first Boondock Saints.
Oh, yeah.
They just get in a room, and it's just guns and knives and fun toys.
So, any other questions about Due Process?
Yes, will the developers send us a couple of copies? Just 3. That's all we need.
Yeah. Well, I mean, It's early alpha. They could send us an early alpha.
It's invite only. So
yeah. Well, why don't you contact them? Be like, hey, man,
I'm planning on it.
Do it.
I think that this would be a great game to have like an Indie Game Riot plays due process.
You can invite some fans.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Well, you know what else has shooters? And I don't know why. I don't know. I keep slipping into a Christopher Walken sounding voice. I don't know.
Indie Game Riot, brought to you by Christopher Walken.
Brought to you by Domino's.
I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Terrible. Anyway.
Free fun!
Yeah, what he said, free fun.
Who doesn't like space pirates?
Me.
Really?
No, I don't know.
This week on Free Fun, we have a game that has been lost to me for 3 years. Back in 2011, I was browsing Newgrounds, and I saw this game that had a pretty high rating, and I clicked it, and I ended up playing it for 4 hours straight. That game was RPG shooter : Starwish. This game is a shmup, kind of. It is part shmup, part playable novel, part RPG, and my God, is it one of the largest free browser-based games I have ever seen. You know that when a game comes out and you open it up on your browser and it has a save button, you know you're probably in for either a really good time or a really bad time. And through all the campy, weird writing that this game actually has and all the, let's be honest, bad naming of all the characters, the writing is relatively good. The shmup aspect of it is great. You have income, you have power-ups. The actual shmup aspect, which is basically the game part of the game, allows you to, a lot of shmups are like, oh, pick up upgrades, and now you have like all these guns and it's a bullet hell. Whereas this one, you slowly upgrade different types of weapons that you have on your ship and can switch them out depending on what's going on. So you have machine guns that fire slower but do more damage than your lasers, which fire very fast, and the lasers that have been fired follow your ship, so you can get things that are like hiding under a ridge. On the other side of the ridge, you shoot and you like duck down really fast and it hits them for a few damage. You duck down again and it hits them for more. Then you have shotguns for your primary weapons. So you have machine guns, shotguns, and lasers for your primary weapons. You can get an upgrade that shoots behind you, but I don't like that one personally. Then you have bombs that shoot down, bombs that shoot in an arc in front of you, which I personally like playing as. And there's another bomb that escapes my mind because, you know, it's a very long game and getting all the guns takes a really long time. I haven't beaten this game yet, but I did play it. After I found it, I played it for about 4 hours, just sitting there. I'm like, yes, I remember all of this. I'm having such a good time, even though the writing is kind of campy and the names are not very good.
The main character's name is Deuce.
Yeah, the main character's name is Deuce. You have an alcoholic panda named Swig. There's your the pirate captain of the ship that you're on is called Granny. But really it's actually really fun, and multiple endings. So depending on what you do in the game, you have multiple endings. You also get to know a lot of the crew a lot more. You have a lot of interactions with them through the the cafe, where you only really have so much time, so you can only talk to certain crew members and get different sides of the story. So you sort of have to sometimes. Yeah, exactly. And some of the times, like, it gives you enough, like, it's always two. It's always you have enough time to talk to two people. And sometimes there are 5 people in the cafe, and sometimes there's 1. Usually, like, it's a relatively linear game. If you've played it once, you've played it enough. There are 2 difficulties, normal and hard. Normal is relatively easy. The boss fights are very fun. Unfortunately, there's no voice acting, so be ready to read a lot. But this game has brought me so much fun that I would put it on. I have more fun playing this game, like investing time in this game, than I do Knit Stories, and I love Knit Stories.
Would you say that this game is larger than Phonotopia? Or Phenotopia? Sorry. Excuse me.
I don't know.
Really?
It might be.
Let's put it this way. I started playing it about 20 minutes before we went live, and various pauses for streaming purposes and all of that. And when we started talking about it, I flipped back and was still playing through it. I just met the some panda reeking of booze.
Oh yeah, swig. Yeah, you haven't even gotten to the first shmup fight yet.
No, I'm walking down. I'm in the main hangar, and Swig took a drink.
Yep.
The alcoholic panda.
It's a children's cartoon. Swig the alcoholic panda.
And so yeah, it's ridiculous. And I showed this game to my girlfriend today, and she was like making fun of it, but like in a fun way. Like you can't take this game too seriously because it is a little bit campy and it is a little bit weird. But if you have a few hours to kill and you want to get invested in a cool story, that is a little bit gender specific. Like I feel like girls who play this game won't feel as much a connection to the main character.
Or they're not girls.
You're a middle-aged scruffy white guy named Deuce.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of female identification going on there.
But it's a free game online. What are you asking for?
What if there's like a middle-aged scruffy white girl named Deuce?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of like really strong female characters in the game. You've got Deadeye is really cool. She's the weapons specialist. Tessa is basically like your non-biological sister who you grew up with. You got Ginny who you pick up from a planet. The pirate captain of the ship is an old woman. I mean,
Avast!
Other spoilers about other characters that I vaguely remember. But it's a lot of fun. It's free, and you should go check it out. Any questions?
Who did it? Who made it?
I knew that, and now it's on Newgrounds. It was published by X Danod. Dan Owen.
Danond?
Yeah, Danond.
Danond?
X Danond. It was released in June 14th, 2011, and on Newgrounds it has a 4.5 rating, which is like
very
really good rating for Newgrounds.
It's got a 4.2 on Congregate.
Yeah, it got a daily second place for the day it was released on Newgrounds in 2011, which is the day that I played it 3 years ago.
And a custom soundtrack.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is very Final Fantasy-esque. It is a custom soundtrack, but it does sound very Final Fantasy. But the music is pretty good. It's not quite Risk of Rain good, but it's pretty.
Well, unless there's anything else that you guys have to talk about, as far as
I'm actually probably going to play this game after we
Starwish.
leave.
Fanboy. Well, speaking of good music, if you those of you on the live stream listening to our live show, if you listen to the recorded version, we do have background music playing during our show. And this week is Adieu Winter. That's the artist. Link will be in the description. So give that person a shout out. Say, hey man, or woman, I heard your music on the Indie Game Riot, and it's awesome. You should go tell them that. If you are an indie video game musician or a developer or anything, I was thinking about adding like some more indie video game aspects to the show too. We'll see. But if you're an indie game, if you have anything to do with indie games that as far as like in the process of making one, let us know, or if you know someone, let them know to contact us, because we could feature their stuff on the show.
Actually, along those lines, one of my friends that I do sword fighting about was over here last weekend, and they were asking, hey, you do that indie game show, yeah, it's cool. Apparently, there is a independent group of people that are working on an indie game, and they are in need of a sound designer / musician for their game. Now, this one, there's plenty of people that I could be like, oh yeah, no, go talk to Jay, go talk to so and so. The problem is they are particularly looking for someone who is either a current or former member of the military, or has ties to current or former military, because they do a lot of stuff with the Wounded Warriors for wounded vets, and so they want to try and keep it within that military family type scenario. So if you happen to know anybody that fits into that mold, or are somebody that fits into that mold, please let me know.
Remind me.
I was going to say, let me know, and we will get you guys in contact.
Remind me to tweet it out after the show.
Okay.
Because I will do that, and because we got a lot of indie devs, and they might have indie dev friends, or maybe they're in the military, and we just don't know. But anyway, yeah, contact us if you are involved in any way, because we could feature stuff on the show, and we're always looking for more people to feature on the show, because we love supporting you all. Now, on the note of support, very, very soon, we're going to be starting up an Indiegogo campaign. And this is just a heads up because the more what would you say, activity in the beginning of the campaign, the better it is for the campaign as far as getting attention and everything like that. So be prepared for that, because we need the support to enhance the show, to make it better, make it a better listening / viewing experience for all of you. That includes, first of all, a much better website and everything like that, and better graphics, and it's like the motion graphics for the bumpers, and better equipment, so Rev's headset doesn't go all wonky, and then he can actually maybe play some games on a better laptop or something like that. So, depending, it depends on how much we get supported to us and everything like that.
The priority, though, is the website and show itself.
I listed that in the rank of priority, the first one being the highest priority. So be aware of that, and if you can, please spread the word about that to your friends and family, and whoever else, random people on the street. And the more eyes we get on the campaign, the better. And hopefully we can make an even more amazing show for you all and garner more attention for the indie game community.
Definitely.
Now,
I had a question on that.
What's that?
We keep saying it's coming up here soon. It's coming up here soon. Mm-hmm. I'm an impatient motherfucker. It's been 3 weeks.
Yep. All I got to do, all I really have to do is finish that video for the introduction.
You should send me what you have and let me touch it.
Well,
hey man, I have magic fingers when it comes to editing videos.
This just got awkward. So I'll talk to you guys after the show. But anyway, on that note, this is the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you who are watching or listening live, or watching live, we do have a recorded version that's on youtube.com/JaShinYa Gaming. That includes background music that we mentioned, gameplay footage, and the bumpers that I also mentioned. For those of you who are watching the recorded version, we do the show live every week, usually on Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on hitbox.tv/JaShinYa. You can also keep up to date with us and talk to us via Twitter. Our handle is @IGR Podcast. Facebook.com/IGR Podcast as well. We have a subreddit, reddit.com/r/Indie Game Riot. Our website for the time being, before the Indiegogo campaign, hopefully will support us, is igrpodcast.webs.com. Limited functionality, but it has all the episodes, and you can also contact us on there using a contact form, or you can just email directly to JaShinYaGaming@gmail.com with any comments, questions, and or suggestions for games and everything like that you have.
And just hate mail. It's Josh's fault we started late, so send him a couple of emails. Be like, damn it, never napped through the start. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just a picture of a dick.
I would have hate mail. Featuring hate mail is some of the funniest shit you can do.
There you go.
See, I think we're too positive to get hate mail. Nobody try and prove me wrong on that.
Well, I don't know. Tech may have offended someone during one of the off. For those of you listening on the recorded version, you may have offended someone during the between segments. But anyway, we'll see. Any other questions or things to say, or just general tomfoolery?
Enable the evolution.
Good job.
Definitely.
Say goodbye, gentlemen.
See you next time, guys.
Have a good one, folks.
Toodles.
Yeah, your guys' Christopher Walken impressions are bad.
I know.
Okay, then where's yours, Rev? Where's yours?
Watch you be spot on. That'd be fucking hilarious.
1 second, hold on. I gotta, I'm swallowing whiskey.
You know, I'm drinking whiskey all night.
I sat down into my comfortable chair and started drinking whiskey with my friends online.
I think we're all about on the same level with Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
Fair
no.
play. It sounds better in my head, damn it.
Yeah. It's a very
He
distinct
said, Harry Carey.
happen. I'm not in the chat.
He said,
Indie Game Riot featuring Christopher Walken and Harry Carey.
I knew you sounded like someone, but it wasn't Christopher Walken. Carey. Ah.
Well played.
Oh.